theme of tonight's edition of the Wednesday Night Wars, if it tells us anything, is NXT, you're just not good enough. And I don't mean to say NXT is a bad show. It is not. I mean, yes, it has its ups and downs, has its flaws right now. It's not the quality it was a couple years ago, as I keep saying. But as far as the Wednesday Night Wars, NXT, you can try all you can. You can have 2 title matches. You can have 2 groundbreaking, but not a little bit of a dud, not as good as I'd hoped, announcements. You can even have Edge on the show. Charlotte Flair. Other people show up on NXT. But you're just not good enough. That right hand knockout punch thrown by AEW tonight, man, it just shows who really is boss and who owns Wednesday nights. As of course, in about a month, NXT will be moving to Tuesday nights. As, you know, it's time to move on. Time to move on to their own show. But we got lots to talk about, as I will be reviewing both NXT and AEW Dynamite tonight. I'm doing NXT first, though, because I want to save AEW, and especially that ending to AEW Dynamite tonight, for last. So I'll do this review, I will go take my shower, and I will come back and review that show. Because man, oh man, oh man. Oh boy, that ending. We're going to talk about that ending when we get to AEW Dynamite. But guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here live for my live review of not AEW yet, of NXT. The March 10th, 2021 edition of NXT took place again at the Capitol Wrestling Center, and we are on the road to now the biggest NXT TakeOver event of all time. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Now, before I even get to anything, I will say this. I made my card predictions already for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Let me put it this way. I know the card I did is crap compared to, you know, the much more bigger card we are probably going to get for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver based off of one of the 2 big announcements that happened. I am not going back and redoing it. I have 3 more matches left to edit for my WrestleMania 37 card predictions. I'm hoping to still get that done tonight after I do my reviews and my shower. But yeah, I'm just saying that I'm not redoing that. And I'm sure as hell am not going to say NXT stands a chance anymore on Wednesday nights, as I continue to say. The show is decent, solid. I felt in between there. NXT stacked the card tonight. They were ready to put up a fight and just swoop away ratings and to basically just tear the house down and beat AEW. Like I said, this was one of those nights AEW came and just BAM! Punched them right in the face and knocked them out square cold based on the ending of Dynamite tonight. There was some good on the show, some meh. We'll talk about it. We got a lot to talk about. Again, got this, shower, then then after Dynamite, get into bed. But again, guys, we'll do NXT first, and then I'll do AEW second. And this is rare. I usually only do this whenever there's preview and predictions for a pay-per-view. But I'm doing it this way tonight because, again, I'm trying to watch both shows on Wednesday nights and review both shows to save time. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this stacked card that we had for NXT. So we had, first, William Regal come out. He had not 1, but 2 groundbreaking announcements. One, he said, was based off what happened last week with the Women's Tag Team Championship match between Nia Jax, or Shayna Baszler, and Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. And based off of how that ended, oh my goodness, I gotta do something about this. So, we first get to the first announcement. We get a video package highlighting takeovers and how, big NXT takeovers have been. Well, till recent memory, of course. And we're going to make history as on next month, NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver will be live. Not one, but 2 nights. 2 nights next month. We will have night 1 on April 7th on the USA Network, normally where NXT normally is. Night 2 will take place on Thursday, April the 8th on Peacock. It will be the first NXT TakeOver event to be airing live on Peacock. That's how I feel about that? I don't know. If it was back where NXT was at its best, I'd say go for it. Right now, though, we're probably going to be getting about maybe 10 matches or so out of this card. I don't know if there's really enough depth or any too many intriguing storylines on NXT right now to even have 10 matches. I mean, okay, think about it. We would technically have the NXT Championship, the Women's title, North American title, 2 tag titles. There's 5 matches there. Probably Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. That's 6. Probably can get 4 more matches, or the Cruiserweight title and get that. So that's 7. 3 more matches in there, but really, what else is going on? What else is really going on? I mean, unless you get something like, Zoe Starks or LA Knight in there, maybe. And one other, I don't know. Maybe there is a chance. Think about it now, there is possibilities. So, like I said, make it, 5 matches both nights. We could put on something good. We're probably going to get, Finn Balor and Karrion Kross, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, Io Shirai, and, well, I originally predicted Toni Storm versus Io Shirai, but that's not going to happen now. It looks like we're going to do Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez. I still don't get that one. Maybe that. Let's do a rematch for the women's tag titles. That's right, I said, spoiler alert, I already spoiled one of the other major announcement. I don't know if they'll do, because we have some groundbreaking news regarding the Cruiserweight Championship that's going to be happening next week. We could be getting Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar, maybe. Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis. Maybe tag titles, Lorcan and Burch and MSK, I guess. So there's some possibilities for a good card. But, like I said, depth, a little questionable. I'm not sure if it was necessary to make TakeOver 2 nights. Like I said, it's just going to be a very... WrestleMania week's going to be, exhausting. I mean, extremely exhausting. Trying to watch 2 nights of TakeOver, 2 nights of WrestleMania, on top of Raw, SmackDown, AEW. It's going to be pretty nuts. It's going to be a crazy... Even if those who want to watch the Hall of Fame ceremony, it's going to be pretty darn nuts. So, I don't know. I have mixed feelings. Thinking about it more, we had the matches to possibly put on a strong show for that being 2 nights, but I don't know. The idea of it being 2 nights still does not feel like it was completely necessary. So that was a we'll see how that goes announcement. The second one, I was like, not like, boo, or like, yay. I was just like, So, based off what happened last week with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, Regal invites all the women out. he basically tells how the great history NXT has with the women, and how they're very special in this division, has proved week in and week out that they're awesome. Um, and then he invites the winners of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, to the ring. After what happened last week and the injustice of the Women's Tag Team Championship go through, he's sick and tired of other people making the decisions for him. So the NXT team decided to make the decisions themselves. They therefore crowned Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez the first ever NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. I mean, there are many more faces, more established stars at least, in that women's division in NXT. I'll give them that. Again, I will say NXT's strong suit to me is still that women's division right now. There's more depth in there for sure, yes. My thing is, though, is if we're doing this, then what was the point of the match last week with Nia and Shayna versus Dakota and Raquel? Like, why can we? What was the point of even doing that match if it literally led to nothing? It really was like just a waste of time. Like, oh, we're going to make women's tag titles because, oh, we're tired of being told what to do. It's like, you've had your whole division this entire time. Like, why all of a sudden do we need to have these titles? Like, even for, like, the WWE women's tag titles, there's no depth for that division. You took out, like, a big ass equation, with having this stacked women's division in NXT. And now you're expecting, NXT's women's division to have their own tag titles, which they could make it an actual division out of that. I'll give them credit for that. But the main roster? Oh my gosh, no. Like, dear Lord, like now, if anything, I want those titles gone even more now. Like you could have put the women's tag titles in NXT, but now what's the point? What's the point of having two women's tag titles, And then, Raquel and Dakota gloat about how, they're awesome, blah, blah, blah. But then Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon come out and they're like, well, you guys won your bracket, but we won ours. So we won a match for the tag titles tonight. Which makes our third title match of the night. Here's my question, though. Didn't they still lose? Even though they won their brackets, they still lost at TakeOver Vengeance Day. I don't know. I would have rather just... If this was the plan all along, I would have rather them just do, just make the winners the women's tag team champions in NXT and don't even bother having them challenge Nia and Shayna. Because again, now I just feel like a total waste. I'm sorry. It just felt like a complete waste. So, both announcements had potential, but one, I basically got to see if NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver will indeed deliver, no pun intended. And that, and then also, again, these women's tag titles, We did have the first title defense, though, and within one night, actually, we already have two NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, already in history. We'll talk about that in a second. First, we had the NXT Women's Championship. Io Shirai versus Toni Storm. The match was good. I didn't quite hit it out of the ballpark as good as I had hoped. I honestly thought this should have been where Toni won the title. I thought, if anyone was ready to win the championship off of Io, it was Toni Storm. It just felt like they kind of booked this match, though, in some ways that made it feel like that this was just a match to, put over Io again. I felt, Io, again, Io's done great as champion, but, I felt that way for Candice. I feel that way for Toni. I kind of feel Toni should have gotten, in order to, capitalize on a heel turn, Toni Storm should have gotten that women's title tonight. But then we have later on in the show, Io runs into um, Io ran into Raquel Gonzalez backstage. They're still teasing that match, and I don't mind Raquel Gonzalez. She's decent. She's still, I feel like, seasoning out a little bit. I'll give her credit that she does try, and I'm actually, impressed by her. I still don't think she's the one to be meant to dethrone Io. Like, at this point, though, who would you have it? Io's basically beaten. Has she beaten everyone? Pretty much. The only one she hasn't really fought yet is Ember Moon. But are they going to give it to Ember Moon? Give it to Zoe Starks? I'm starting to worry, though, they may be giving the belt to Raquel. And, as decent Raquel is, I don't see her being ready yet to be NXT Women's Champion. Not yet. Not yet to be. So, solid effort from Tony and Io. But like I said, I would have liked to see maybe a little bit better, and I felt Tony should have won the match there. Finn Balor has a backstage promo. He says, "Remember, Adam, I beat you to win that. I'll beat you to keep it." Basically. LA Knight has a backstage promo. Basically, everybody was thinking it'll be LA Knight's in-ring debut tonight, but wrong. That time will be next week. And anybody who can find enough tingle in their lions to step into the ring with us, with him, they're going to find out exactly how that ends up. That's not an insult, it's just a fact. Which sets off Bronson Reed, who interrupts him and begins manhandling him. And he promised him to pay for his actions last week, but LA Knight said, "This isn't your time, this is my time." And they're just going to be separated. So, I don't know if this is leading to, a match for next week in this in-ring debut for LA Knight versus Bronson Reed, or if we're going to be doing this match at TakeOver Stand and Deliver. One of the two is happening, but LA Knight is making his in-ring debut next week in NXT. Pete Dunne defeated Jake Atlas. Of course, we had Oni Lorcan in Danny Burch's corner. He gets in by having him tap out to the snap arm bar. And then Pete Dunne afterwards said, "See, this is the time of the year when everybody wants to step up their game. Well, you step to me." And that's exactly what happens. He made his name in the UK, but don't get it twisted. He's the best technical wrestler in the world, and he dares everybody to try to prove him wrong. Technical wrestler, huh? Maybe you're teasing a match between him and Timothy Thatcher, maybe? The man who replaced him in this tag team with Matt Riddle last year, whenever Dunne was restricted based off of the pandemic. Maybe we're going with that feud. I don't know. We'll see. But that'll be a fresh match. Pete Dunne versus Timothy Thatcher. I like it. We also have a backstage segment from Imperium. They said a long time ago they created something very special, so unique, that nobody would be able to represent like we did. And what they wanted to do is Timothy Thatcher to step in and claim what's rightfully theirs. Eichner says, "Tim, we're here for you. We're doing all this for you, but you have to go ask your friend for permission. We'll make it work out of respect for you, because we're taking over no matter what." So I guess we're getting a feud with Imperium and Thatcher and Ciampa, actually. Okay. We'll see where that goes. It seems they're keeping that tag team together, and it seems they have Ciampa and Thatcher as faces. Might have to just do the turn for them this week. We'll see. Leon Ruff then informs us that Isaiah Swerve Scott that he has also scratched and clawed for everything he's gotten. And next week they're going to collide in a match. Again, we had the women's tag title match. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez would drop the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships to Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. Okay, why had them win the tag titles to drop them on the same night? That was strange. But, like I said, iffy about these tag titles. So already booking them while we're having two champions in one night was just odd. Like, why would you have the first ever women's tag team champions eventually just dropped them right away, which is just, it was weird. We have that. Um, Adam Cole was backstage. He gets a promo that says he reminded both of those chumps who led the leader of the Undisputed Era. The Undisputed Era is dead, and when he says it's dead, because as far as he's concerned, he just got rid of dead weight. Finn, you think you've got me, but in reality, I played you like a fiddle. A lot of people look at him as the greatest NXT champion. Well, then he showed up and had a 403-day reign as the greatest there has ever been. Tonight, he will become a 2-time NXT champion. And if Finn thought his first reign was something special, you ain't seen nothing yet. We didn't have, of course, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart make their way backstage. They're getting an ovation for getting the win, probably because, Shotzi got the win, and like I said, they overpushed her a little bit, even though, again, I like Shotzi, but like I said, they've overpushed her. But anyways, but Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell boo loudly, but then Austin Theory asked Johnny about that stupid therapy session last week, and why he paid them. Johnny says therapy ain't free, and he's like, well, it's true. But then Gargano convinces Theory that everything the therapist told him about Dexter Lumis was true. He rips off his shirt and screams, I can't take it anymore! And then Johnny's all happy about it, and like I said, it's just weird because, I don't get why it is, why are they booking this creepy ass thing where, now all of a sudden, it was weird before with Johnny just, whining and just, being, the annoying heel that I can't stand him being. But my question is, though, why is Austin Theory being booked to think that Dexter Lumis is some good guy? It just feels super awkward, and again, it feels like something Vince would write, because, we have, Austin Theory still being booked like a joke. We have Indy Hartwell who's being booked to think that Dexter Lumis is some, hot dude and whatnot, which I don't like it. I've constantly said it. Xia Li and Kaden Carter had a match. Casey Catanzaro, though, came out when Xia Li was really was about to tear Kaden apart and limps down, and she whacks Xia Li with a crutch. And she gets in the ring and attacks Xia Li before Boa stepped in to make the save and breaks the crutch in half. Mei Ying gives the thumbs down from the ramp, telling Boa to finish her off, but then Kaden Carter whacks Boa with the other crutch, and then Carter and Catanzaro flee from, whatever else Mei Ying had in mind. Okay. I guess Casey's okay. I was a little concerned after, of course, actually seeing her, get suffer that leg injury that she sold it pretty good and made it look pretty bad, but I guess, she still is able to be around and such, so, okay. Jordan Devlin was then had a camera promo saying how his NXT travel ban exemption got lifted today. That's bad news for Santos Escobar, because next week he's going to see who the real Cruiserweight champion is. And it pans over to a waiting airplane, and he's heading to the United States. And, of course, Santos Escobar is not happy about that. As we're finally addressing... Well, I haven't watched NXT UK yet to get to the next review, so I'm going to try to do that again soon also. Yep, Jordan Devlin's on his way over. We're finally going to get this settled and have just one NXT Cruiserweight champion. Who will be? We'll have to wait and see. We also get a video package for Zoe Stark talking about growing up on the wrong side of the tracks. And when we come back, she says professional wrestling was always her escape from the evils. And after graduating high school, she started training at the age of 18. And, just a good hype video for her, as they're definitely, really building her up good, definitely. She's going to be something big, Zoe Stark. I'm interested to see what she does. After Santos Escobar flips out about what Jordan Devlin had to say, we are having a match with the Grizzled Young Veterans and Legado del Fantasma. Match was not that long at all. Breezango interfered once again. And then Breezango. But actually, I'm sorry. It wasn't Breezango who came out though. Of course, they were dressed up very similar to them. Ended up being MSK. But then Legado del Fantasma got the win by pinfall. Wes Lee then slams his moon helmet into the steel steps to break a hand. And then Breezango actually do come out and basically back them up. And just chaos broke loose. Okay, I'm not sure why that's the case. I mean, again, isn't MSK again supposed to be going after the tag titles? So, I think one of them is hurt for MSK. Can't remember which one it is. But, why are they involved in this? I don't know. But, we're supposed to be getting that match soon. I'm not going to say it's probably not going to do it until Stand and Deliver next month. We get a segment with Mackenzie Mitchell interviewing Timothy Thatcher. Tommaso Ciampa up saying, "I know my answer. I'm not interested. You know who I'm interested in? The General, who sits safely overseas while he sends his lieutenants to do the dirty work. But us versus Imperium next week, that sounds good to me." One match that is booked next week, though, also is Dexter Lumis and Austin Theory and Isaiah Swerve Scott and Leon Ruff, and the debut of L.A. Knight. So also, Tommaso Ciampa is also calling out the NXT United Kingdom champion Walter. That could be good. I actually am kind of intrigued by that. We'll see what happens with that match. When it happens, we'll see. Maybe that'll happen also as NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, possibly as well. And then the main event. This main event. Well, let's say they tried. But like I said at the beginning of this review, NXT tried, just not good enough. Because when we get to AEW in a few minutes, they just threw the knockout punch there. Finn Balor and Adam Cole had a pretty good match. Again, as I said before, I feel like their previous two matches, one-on-one they've had, were good, but not as good as I expected. I felt this one was their best match. Good back and forth action here. Towards the end of the match, though, Balor tossed Adam Cole out of the ring. And Adam Cole was staring, over the barricade, and coming through the crowd was no one other than Kyle O'Reilly. And it's the first time we have seen O'Reilly since the Fallout show from TakeOver Vengeance Day. After Cole had set O'Reilly into the steel steps. So off the distraction, Balor was able to hit a 1916, and then on the ground, and then after a few, of course, near falls and whatnot, eventually Balor hits a coup de grace, and he gets the victory and retains the NXT title. Afterwards, Kyle O'Reilly jumps over the barricade. He stares down Cole. Cole tries to, talk him out, whatever he's thinking. He goes to low blow him, but O'Reilly was clearly wearing a steel cup because it did not work. He rips off the armbands, and then he just wreaked havoc, beating the crap out of Adam Cole as these two brawled around the arena. Referees were breaking them up. O'Reilly was shoving them out of the way. He was just going in there and wrecking up havoc because he just wanted to get his hands on his brother, one of his former best friends, the man who turned on him and officially ended the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole. Boy, the NXT title is not going to be involved, as I thought at first maybe we would do a triple threat, but then of course I changed my mind, and it's obvious because, after this, but first before I get to what happened after that, like I said, we're obviously going to be getting Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly at TakeOver Stand and Deliver. You know what? I'll say this. Have Finn Balor main event night 1. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly needs to main event night 2. Again, that's, you feel for that match like you feel for Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Like, when that match is on, nothing else can top it. So I am honestly hoping they have Finn Balor and, let's say right now, Karrion Kross main event night 1, and then night 2 again, the main event will be Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Because after they broke up with Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor was watching as everything unfolded. But he stands in the ring, and then the camera was shot with it over his shoulder. I'm just like, someone's going to attack him, is it? Well, it wasn't an attack, it was still something, it was just a stare down. We see Finn just looked down at the title. Obviously, he made known that he saw someone. And all he said was, what took you so long? Turns around, and it's Karrion Kross. And Kross, of course, just said, tick-tock. And that's how the show goes off the air. So, again, obvious to me, we're going to be getting Karrion Kross and Finn Balor at TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Okay, I mean, good match, but I still think right now, the most hyped match for sure for that show, which is why, to me, it should be the main event of night 2, is Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. I cannot wait for that one. That is probably the next big money match for me at NXT. Again, we have, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They've done their stuff. That was like the big marquee match for sure for a few years. This one with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, oh boy, that's the next big one. And we're going to be getting it at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. And it's going to be awesome. Kross and Balor should still be good too. I'm just so confused though as to why are they booking Karrion Kross more like a babyface? Why are they making him just the dominating monster he was before he got hurt? That one I'm still head scratching on for sure. But yeah, guys, that's NXT. Talked quite a bit. I didn't think I'd talk this long about it, but I'm going to take a quick break, take my shower, come back, and we're going to talk AEW Dynamite. Oh boy. Again, that ending, loved it. I loved it. I'll give NXT a B-. Most of the matches were good. Expected a little bit better from. There were still a few wacky things, like I said, the stuff with the way and the therapy, the women's tag titles. Everything else just was what it was. I gave NXT a B-. Guys, again, we'll take a quick break, and I'll be right back. We also had Tyler, who made a few comments in the live chat. Thank you, Tyler. But yeah, guys, I'll be back here in a few minutes for my AEW live review. So, guys, B- for NXT. What were your thoughts on NXT? What are your thoughts on NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver being a 2-night show? And also, what's your thoughts on the women's tag titles? And also, the match is teased as well for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Again, B- for NXT this week. What grade would you give it as well? Leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content. Come on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. Back here in just a few minutes, guys. Peace out, everybody.